Hey, this is the Aldonzo and B Show, back here on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of limits and normal. And I was going after Kaylee Kuko a little bit in the last segment. We ran out of a little bit of time. But this just, I read this. It's one of those headlines that you read, and you're just like, how? Like, were you conceived through a screen door? You know what? Like, how are you this weak? Carpal tunnel is something that affects the carpal bones in the hand and the wrist. Right, Dees? Yeah.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that's... I know where it happens. I know guys have had it, but, you know, I'm not a doctor. I did stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night. That usually comes from using your hands quite a bit. Would you agree?
Yeah. You find a lot of office workers, and something that I used to do, meat cutters, people that basically work vigorously with their hands.
Now... And I've said this before. I've seen a lot of BS carpal tunnel claims. A lot. That's usually the go-to is carpal tunnel. I've seen guys hand grinding, using 4-inch grinders at work. After 3 weeks of doing that, they want to file a work comp claim on carpal tunnel. So, anyway,
having done that at your old shop, I can say that I don't blame them.
Well,
that job
there's
sucked.
a reason. Yeah, but your muscles and your tendons aren't used to it. And you ask anybody that's done that for a long time, after about a month and a half, 2 months, you start to build up your muscles. Your tendons
muscle memory takes over. And
it's no big deal. But there's people that have had that, and, it does suck. Anyway, going on.
Well, real quick on this Hollywood, while we're on this Hollywood kick, have you seen anything about the Michael Oher stuff from the Blind Side movie, NFL player?
I have not.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, I think I did go ahead with it.
Yeah, not to rehash the whole thing, but basically he was semi-homeless, was brought in by the Toohey family, and had him sign conservatorship that he claims didn't know. Anyway, I'm sure you know the story by now. The bad part is there are idiots online that are actually like going after Sandra Bullock for this, who played the role of the mother in the movie. Like, get off her case. She was an actress doing a job. She has nothing to do with what's going on with the actual family. She was paid to act a role, did it, won an Oscar for it. They're literally calling for her to return her Oscar, like as if she
played a role,
anything to do with it. So yeah, lighten up, Francis.
Yeah, and we're on a Hollywood kick too. I want to talk about the Rush shooting again. There's a little bit of news about that.
Well, I was going to talk. Have you seen Bradley Cooper?
Or can I finish up my Kaylee Kuko story, please?
What's Kaylee Kuko got to do with Alec Baldwin?
What does any of this have to do with the it's D's? You know what?
Yes, go ahead.
No.
Tell me more.
No, you don't want to hear anymore. No, and neither do the listeners. You just go ahead with your little story about Bradley Cooper.
Well, he's getting flack because he's wearing a prosthetic nose to look like Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah, Leonard Bernstein. Yeah, I saw that.
Like, again, it's a movie.
He's an actor. That's what actors do. They change themselves.
Yeah.
They change the way they talk. They change the way they move. They change the way they look to portray somebody.
So he's playing a Jewish man, and you're going to give him flack because they got makeup on him to make him look like a Jewish man. Whatever. Anyway, yes, the Rust.
Okay.
Rust
this is, let's pull this up because I wasn't actually ready to do this one yet, but you started going into the Hollywood thing and just literally just boned me on the Kaylee Kuko story. I know you don't like Big Bang Theory.
I thought you were done with it.
No, you said, "Oh, wait! Before you get back into it, I want to do this and this."
I thought you
now
were going to go
arguing.
into something else.
No, you thought wrong. Now, this Rust thing.
Oh, by the way, I'm just kidding.
Did you? I'm going to snap. I'm going to snap. That's it, Cat. End the show. We're done.
Yeah.
Headline: Alec Baldwin could be charged again in fatal Rust shooting as new report claims he actually did pull the trigger, which we said he pulled the trigger from the get-go. Did we not?
Yeah, he had to have.
Guns don't just discharge by themselves. A new report concluded that despite his denials, Alec Baldwin had to pull the trigger of the gun that fired on the set of Rust back in October of 2021. As the film's armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed gears up for her scheduled December trial, her legal team focused on a new report from independent forensics firearms experts Lucian Haag and Mike Haag, who were commissioned by the prosecution, concluded that Baldwin had to pull the trigger of the gun in order for it to fire. You are a damn genius, Gump. It took these firearm experts to convince them that this idiot had to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much figure that. Wasn't it a single action revolver?
You got to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
You have to pull the trigger or you have to drop it to put the hammer down on it.
Yeah.
So many things went wrong with this. And like I said, I like Alec Baldwin as an actor. I always have. He's a good actor. Don't get me wrong.
Again, like we said back then, I don't necessarily blame him for the death because he's an actor. But I get it.
A point I made
is he should have never went on and made the statements that he didn't pull the trigger. And
no, he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And it's like I said before, his world collided with our world, which is our world's firearm safety. You know, we learned how to shoot firearms. We learned how to be safe with them. We're firearms enthusiasts. His world is he puts a gun in his hand so he can make money, and then he wants to get rid of them when he doesn't have a gun in his hand. He probably should have spent more time learning how to actually use a firearm. And to be honest with you, the production team should have invested in safety training for this.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, there was reports that they were reckless, that they were taking these supposedly prop guns and putting live ammunition in them and shooting them, and there was live ammunition on the set. So either way you slice it, this was wrong all the way around.
Yeah. Again, and I said it back then, I don't think the man should have to go to jail because, you know, he's got to live with it the rest of his life. Somebody should probably pay some very, very hefty fines. I don't think a single person there had any, well, I know nobody there had malicious intent. They were irresponsible, sure. Of all of the people involved, I think Alec Baldwin is probably the least responsible for this, but because he's the man that had the gun, and then he went and said the things that he said, made him look bad. But
yeah, it made him look like a liar. Look,
yeah.
You know you pulled the trigger. I've seen so many people discharge a gun and say, I didn't pull the trigger. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You don't want to think you did, but you did. And that's usually how it goes. Now, I'll tell you one person.
On that particular revolver, wouldn't you have to, correct me if I'm wrong, you know more about guns, wouldn't you have to pull the hammer back and then pull the trigger, or was it?
Correct. The hammer was cocked back and then the trigger was pulled. I can't remember which model revolver it was, but yes, it wasn't. They're all single action. They weren't double action back then.
Yeah.
But look, we just talked about Alec Baldwin, which is old news. We got bigger fish to fry here. Like we didn't fry the fish with Donald Trump and Joe Biden and Hunter Biden earlier. But so you remember who Rachel Levine is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Assistant Secretary for Health for the Department of Health and Human Services. Admiral Rachel Levine. Let's just call her Admiral Richard Levine. I just don't even know what to say. He praised an Alaska gender clinic, which promotes revisionist ideas about biological sex, including eliminating the word mother from kindergarten through 12th science classes. He said, these inspiring people work tirelessly to create a more equitable future where all those living in the U.S. have equal access to life-saving medical care, or we can cut your testicles off or remove your boobies or stuff like that and make little Timmy into a little Tammy. And this was on August 6th. Just recently he said this, but I wanted to get this story. The terms gestational parent, egg producer, or carrier can be used instead of mother, according to the gender-inclusive biology. Gestational parent. Look.
Stop the world. I want to get off.
If you have a penis and testicles, you can't be a gestational parent. I'm going to do you one better, Dees. If you have a penis and testicles and you have them removed, guess what, Dees? No. Wait, let's just do one more time. If you have a penis and testicles and you have them removed or you have them inverted to form a vagina, guess what? You still can't be a gestational parent because you're not a woman. Egg producer? You can't have testes and a wee-wee and produce eggs. I mean, I've seen those videos with the egg thing, but no, you can't do that. I mean, it doesn't work for bearing children. I wonder how many people got that. Carrier. You cannot be a carrier of a child if you do not have a penis and some testes hanging there. Even if you get them removed, even if you turn your wah into a woo, it doesn't matter at that point. You're not carrying kids. You're a woman.
Did you say wand into a woo?
It's a wah into a woo. This girl I went to school with used to call them wahs and woos. I don't know. stupid high school stuff. But anyway, I just hadn't pulled that out of my rear in a while. So we're moving on a little bit now. We're starting to get into the funny stuff. D's?
Here you go again.
Here I go again, buddy.
Florida woman murdered, allegedly, murdered her elder roommate. And to hide the evidence, she doused herself with Diet Mountain Dew. I'll have more on that when we come
Diet
back.
Mountain Dew. We're going to come back with naked ladies and Diet Mountain Dew, right? D's, take her away.
Yeah, back to Miss Diet Mountain Dew. Around the, I believe, the Daytona area, police were called, and what the hell is that?
Just keep going. Just shut up. Nobody else can
Nicole
hear it.
Max, age 35, was charged with tampering with evidence and resisting arrest when firefighters and EMTs were called after smoke was coming out of an apartment. They found a 79-year-old dead man covered in blood with blunt force trauma and a couple of cell phones that they basically traced back to Miss Max. A couple hours later, when they found her, she had some blood on her leg, and when police approached her, she immediately put a knife and a hammer down at her feet and tried to say that she was homeless, blah, blah, blah. Well, then she said, yeah, she lived there. She only went there to feed her spiders, didn't go in the bedroom.
What?
Feed her
spiders?
Yes. Yeah, look, I'm just reading.
Okay, go ahead.
So then they're like, well, so they let her go for the time being, and then they came back with a warrant for a DNA test from her body because she had blood on her and a torn shirt. She's like, well, I'm really thirsty. Can you get me a Diet Mountain Dew? And they do, and she kind of hemmed and hawed with it.
They do.
Yeah. And then she just doused herself with it, thinking that it would corrupt or whatever.
She's never seen Boondock Saints. You got to use ammonia.
Yeah. So basically, she was thinking that Diet Mountain Dew would erase the DNA evidence and would exonerate her. But yeah, no, she's going to go away for a long time.
She needs to. Because not only is she a murderer, she's stupid.
Yeah, yeah.
Go to the stupid jail.
Do you buy organic foods?
Sometimes.
Okay. Well, take a good look the next time you buy a package of organic spinach, because a Michigan family was surprised to find in their triple washed organic spinach.
Okay.
Let me say that again.
Triple washed organic spinach.
Washed organic spinach.
I'm all ears.
Bought the package, took it home, and the little girl noticed there's a live tree frog in the package of organic spinach.
Oh, I bet the little girl loved that, didn't she?
Apparently not enough to convince Mom to keep it, because they took it back with the spinach to the store. And, yeah, poor little guy.
Yeah, I wonder what they did with him. Why did they just take him out and like throw the spinach away and get more? I mean, well, I know, but a box of spinach, a little Tupperware thing of spinach is probably like $3,000 now.
Well,
so
especially organic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
all natural spinach, right?
Pretty proud of that. Yeah, very natural. Comes with its very own
tree frog. Gonna name him. Gonna make him Jumpy.
Right. Another thing I wanted to touch on: Oliver Anthony. If you've turned on the TV at all in the last 7 days, surely you've seen him. You've heard the song, right?
Yes, I've heard the song.
Very good song. And
it's a very country song, like actual country.
Yeah, like old school. Like, he even says in the lyrics, he's an old soul. And I reached out to him, tried to get him on the show, but after watching some of his socials, I don't think he's really interested in that. He's already turned down $8 million recording contract, which hats off to him. Like, he's a self-admitted, he says he's not a good guy and that he's a high school dropout, does have his GED, but he basically just says what we're all thinking. And to the liberals on Twitter that are basically saying that it's just propaganda, blah, 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 he even says himself that he's not a conservative. He's, kind of like me, down the middle type person, just tired of seeing the country screw over the little guy, the middle class, regardless of what side you're on.
I like that meme on Facebook. It said CMT just doesn't know what to do with a person from the country playing real country music.
Yeah, it was the Onion article.
Oh, was it the Onion?
Yeah, the Onion did a thing, or not? I'm sorry.
No, it's Babylon Bee.
Babylon Bee.
I'll say the Onion wouldn't have shown that in a bright light.
Yeah, shocked to see a country song from a person who actually lives in the country.
Well,
yeah, hats off to him, man. I hope he makes it big, even if he does it the hard way by doing everything on his own.
Good for him, but good for him for taking that stance and having honor and not being able to, not wanting to be bought. But this is pretty fresh. We're talking about a week and a half that this has been out.
He's got 3 songs in the top 5 on iTunes right now.
A lot of people that he knows close to him are going to be like, dude, they're going to point him aside and be like,
take it while you can.
go get it.
Yeah.
And he's going to end up going. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. I wouldn't think less of him if he does. Why not? If you can make money,
he'll
go
eventually do something.
I think he will too.
I just hope that he does it in a way that, because look, it doesn't take a genius to know and see that these record execs will literally beat you down. Look at Aaron Lewis.
Yeah, and hopefully he doesn't. Yeah, Aaron Lewis is. I like Aaron Lewis.
I do too.
But hopefully this isn't one of those things where in 3 years from now he's got some Nashville fat cats writing his songs for him,
right?
And he's getting paid to go up there and be a poser, because that's what happens to most of these country guys.
Yep.
That's why Eldonzo and D's don't listen to bro or pop country.
No.
This is the Eldonzo and D show. We were wrapping it up. We're going to crack an ice cold one because you can't drink all day if you don't start early in the morning, and we'll be coming right back at you, baby, next Saturday on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal. We're out of here. See ya.